Good morning to one and all. Welcome to your TSN English class. Today we'll be starting chapter 2. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together from your book Hornbill, and the writer of this chapter is Gordon Cook and Alan East. So let's read the chapter here from paragraph first. But before starting with the chapter, I would like to tell you about the introduction of the chapter. That here is the introduction of the chapter, my dear students. That this chapter, we are not afraid to die, is the all about a family experience, which is like an adventurous experience of a family. So here in this chapter, on July in 1976, the narrator of the chapter, he said that he set sail from England and he wanted to duplicate like one the word around the world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain Cook. So he wants to replicate that journey again, and he wants to collect his own experience in that journey. And on January 2, huge waves shook the deck and broke over the ship, and how they survived over there for 15 hours, and what happened to them, and how the offshore, a tiny island where all the 28 inhabitants came to cheer them. So this is like the intro of the chapter here. So let's read the chapter. In July 1976, my son Jonathan 6, daughter Suzanne 7, and I set sail from Plymouth, England to duplicate the round the world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. For the longest time, Mary and I, a 37-year-old businessman, had dreamt of sailing in the wake of the famous explorer, and for the past 16 years, we had spent all our leisure time owning our seafaring skill in British waters. So, your students, what was going on there? That the narrator of the chapter. So, the narrator basically he explains his journey here in this chapter, that in July 1976 how his wife Mary and his two children, the first one is Jonathan, who is his son, who was like 6 years old, and daughter Suzanne, who is 7 years old. when they set sail from Plymouth England, तो उन्होंने शिप कहाँ से स्टार्ट करी थी, शिप जर्नी फ्रॉम Plymouth England to duplicate the round the world voyage made 200 years, because they want to do that journey in, they want to complete their journey in the same way, or they want to start their journey in the same way like Captain James Cook. So he's just copying that James Cook. And for the longest time, his wife Mary and that narrator of the chapter, they plan for all these things. So the age of narrator is 37 years old, and he was a businessman over there. So had dreamt of sailing in the wake of the famous explorer, and for the past 16 years we had spent all our leisure time owning our seafaring skill in British water. So he said that Mary and his that narrator of the chapter. So that narrator and Mary, both of them were like this refers that owning our seafaring skills. These words refer to the efforts made by the author and wife to perfect or sharpen their seafaring skills. So they are spending their leisure time in not only to give for, or not only for their comfort and all these things, but they are spending their time for what, that they are spending their time for this journey, for this so they are dedicating their leisure time for planning this journey, that how to do all these things over there. Now move on to next paragraph. Our boat, Wave Walker, a 23-meter 30-ton wooden hulled beauty, had been professionally built, and we had spent months fitting it out and testing it in the roughest weather we could find. The first leg of our planned 3-year, 1,05,000 kilometers journey passed pleasantly as we sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. Therefore, before heading east, we took on 2 crewmen, American Lady Vigil and Swiss Herb Sizzler, to help us tackle one of the world's roughest seas, the southern Indian Ocean. So here, the narrator of the chapter, he describes that how he prepared for that, that he professionally, they bought a they bought a boat, that is the boat Wave Walker. So that boat was professionally built by the professional boat makers. The here is the weight of the boat and the height or length of the boat, that is 23 meter, and that weight of the boat is 330 tons, and it is a wooden hulled beauty. So, and we had spent months fitting it out. So he said that he spent his months so that the boat for fittings and all these things. And after completion of that boat, they are like they were like testing over that boat, and the in which weather, the roughest weather we could find. So he said that कि जितना हो सकता था उन्होंने उस बोट को ट्राई करा, कैसे वेदर में, रफेस्ट वेदर में, सो दैट दिल जस्ट ट्राई दैट थिंग कि वो बोट जो है वो प्रॉपर बनी है या नहीं बनी है, या ऑल दीज लाइक बोट में जो भी है कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो तो वो पहले ही सॉल्व हो सके. दैट इज़ वाई दे ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड द बोट कम्प्लीटली. So the first leg of our planned 3 year, that is 1,05,000 kilometer journey, passed pleasantly as we sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. तो your narrator explains that. तो नरेटर यहाँ कहना चाह रहा है कि उन्होंने अपनी इस 3 year प्लान ट्रिप में जो फर्स्ट फेज़ है, दैट इज़ 1,05,000 किलोमीटर्स का, वो उन्होंने कंप्लीट कर लिया था. एंड अब वो कहाँ जा रहे थे? फ्रॉम अफ्रीका के जो वेस्टर्न कोस्ट है वहाँ से केप टाउन के नामक जगह पे वो पहुँचने वाले थे. एंड फ्रॉम देयर दे वेंट ऑन टू द ईस्ट, and we took on to crewmen, and because they went to the east direction for that, from Africa to Cape Town they went to east. That is why they took 2 crewmen with them, those who are like professional crewmen. So that is अमेरिकन लॉरी विजिल एंड स्विट्ज़रलैंड के हर्ब सिजलर को उन दोनों ने अपने साथ लिया, ताकि बिकॉज वाई दे टुक देम, बिकॉज द नेक्स्ट their journey, next way, or the next you can say that next destination of their journey is that the southern Indian Ocean, which is like the most difficult journey, you can say that, of their this sea voyage tour. So for that they took these 2 men, those who are like professional or perfect, or they knew how to handle those situations. So because southern Indian Ocean is the roughest, one of the roughest seas, that is why they took them. So on our second day of Cape Town, we begin to encounter strong gales. Your narrator explains everything about the Cape Town, that how they encounter, how they begin, or on the second day of their Cape Town, when they went to the place Cape Town, how the strong gales is what? Strong winds blew over there, and for the next few weeks they blew continuously, and they blew continuously for next few weeks. जो हवाएं हैं वो तेज चलती ही जा रही थी. Gales did not worry me. So your narrator explains that कि उसको gales की चिंता नहीं थी, but the size of the waves was alarming. But he is worried about what? The size of the waves, up to 15 meter as high as our main mast. So he said that waves are like 15 meters high. और ये जो है ये उनके मेन मैस्ट, व्हाट इज मैस्ट हियर, जो मस्तूल था उनकी बोट का, दैट वुडन हल्ड ब्यूटी, दैट वेव वॉकर, उससे भी ऊपर जा रही थी वो वेव्स. December 25 फाउंड अस 3,500 kilometers east to Cape Town. और अब क्रिसमस डे था, दैट इज़ 25th of December. ऑन दैट डे सो वो कहाँ पहुँच गए थे? ईस्ट ऑफ केप टाउन तक. डिस्पाइस that atrocious weather, we had a wonderful holiday complete with a Christmas tree. So here narrator explains that कि on 25th December जब वो केप टाउन से 3,500 किलोमीटर के आसपास, और लाइक यू कैन से दैट 3,500 किलोमीटर्स दूर निकल चुके थे एट दैट टाइम, डिस्पाइट दैट atrocious weather, कि वो इतना दूर, इतने you can say that atrocious is not the weather which is worse. सो वर्स इतने वर्स वेदर में भी वो लोग वहाँ से 3,500 किलोमीटर्स आगे बढ़ चुके थे, एंड वी हैड अ वंडरफुल हॉलीडे कंप्लीट विद अ क्रिसमस ट्री। एंड उन्होंने वहाँ पे बहुत ही वंडरफुल हॉलीडे बिताया था क्रिसमस ट्री और क्रिसमस सेलिब्रेट करते हुए। न्यू ईयर डे सॉ नो इम्प्रूवमेंट इन द वेदर, एंड अब 1 वीक पास्ट हो चुका था, एंड दैट डे इज़ न्यू ईयर डे। अब उन्होंने सोचा दैट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर वीक कुछ तो सही होगा, बट देर वॉज नो इम्प्रूवमेंट इन द सिचुएशन इन द कंडीशन ऑफ द वेदर, so that is why he said that there was no improvement in the weather, but we reasoned that it had to change soon. But there is a reason in their mind that that weather changed soon. So they are expecting that change of the season in a positive way, and it did change. So he said that the weather changed for the worse. So weather is not in their favor, so weather जो change हुआ, that is in the worst condition. At dawn on January 2, the waves were gigantic, and we were sailing with only a small storm jib, and we were still making 8 knots. As the ship rose to top of each wave, we could see endless enormous sea rolling towards us. So he said that शाम के वक्त January 2 को, when the waves were gigantic, when the waves were like बहुत ज़्यादा, the size of the waves is like बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा था, ह्यूज साइज की वेव थी। वी वर सेलिंग विद ओनली वन स्मॉल स्टॉर्म जिब, तब उनके पास सिर्फ एक स्टॉर्म जिब थी, एंड वी वर स्टिल मेकिंग 8 नॉट्स, और अभी भी वो 8 नॉट्स बांध रहे थे। एज द शिप रोज टू टॉप ऑफ ईच वेव वी कुड सी एंडलेस जब हर बार शिप जो है हर वेव के साथ टॉप पर पहुंचता, तो वो देख पा रहे थे, दे कैन सी द एंडलेस एनॉर्मस सी रोलिंग टूवर्ड्स अस। तो वो देख पा रहे थे कि किस तरह जो सी की वेव्स हैं, एनॉर्मस वेव्स, वो किस तरह उनकी तरफ रोलिंग वे में वापस उन्हें दिख रही थी। एंड द screaming of wind and spray was painful to the ears, and the voice of the wind, that is he mentioned here as a screaming of wind. So जो हवा की जो आवाज़ थी, the sound of the winds, and the spray was painful to the ears, and at the same time the spray is also painful for their ears. So to slow the boat down, we dropped the storm jib and lashed a heavy mooring rope in a loop across the storm. And for that, इन सब चीज़ों को रोकने के लिए उन्होंने क्या करा, अपनी बोट से नीचे वो जो स्टॉर्म जिब थी उसे नीचे ड्रॉप करा, एंड लैश्ड अ हेवी मूनिंग रोप, और उससे फिर टाई किया अक्रॉस द स्टर्न। देन वी डबल्ड लैश्ड एवरीथिंग, उसके बाद उन्होंने सब जगह डबल नॉट लगा दी। वेंट थ्रू आर लाइफ राफ्ट ड्रिल, और अपनी लाइफ राफ्ट ड्रिल की तरफ गए। अटैच्ड लाइफ लाइन, उससे उन्होंने उसे अटैच किया। डोंट ऑयल स्किन्स एंड लाइफ जैकेट्स, उसके बाद उन्होंने लाइफ जैकेट्स एंड जो जल रोधी जो भी होता है अपने जैकेट्स पहन लिए, एंड वेटेड, और उसके बाद वो लोग वेट करने लगे फॉर द नेक्स्ट अपकमिंग सिचुएशन। स्टूडेंट्स, today we'll be ending a video here, so we'll end our video here. We'll start a video, second part of this video in our next video. Thank you. Till then, stay safe.